Okay, good. All right, I call the Board of Trustees meeting to order on March 21st at 10:14 a.m. We need to do invocation again, because it's a separate meeting. Michael, would you do the invocation for this?
Sure. Our dear Heavenly Father, we're grateful for this beautiful Saturday and the opportunity that we have to meet representing our township. We ask for that blessing upon us as we discuss the budget for the next year, that we may be guided and directed in the decisions that we make. We pray for these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. All right, and then we'll stand for the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. And then we need to do a roll call, please. And this is just including the board.
Okay. Michael,
Here.
Lee,
Here.
Christy,
Here.
Heather,
Here.
Eugene is absent, Amy is absent, Nola is present.
Right. And next we need to have approval of agenda. I did send the information to print you guys an updated agenda. I would like to add underneath the resolution 2610, I'd like to add the approval of hopefully we approve, Muskegon County Road Commission cost sharing letter for the Bard Road culvert.
Make a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
Okay, motion by Michael, support by Christy. Any discussion from the board? All right, hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Hi.
Any opposed, same sign. All right, that passes. Next, we have public comment. Any public comment? Any public comment? Any public comment? All right, moving on. The first thing that we have is the budget adjustments. I did give you guys, there was a letter or a worksheet that we got from Heather. Let's see if I printed it for myself. So some of these numbers, this sheet that she gave is what they should actually be at compared to what I had them at. None of them are going to be in this revenue. So this first section here, page 1, the bold italicized in the amended for that first section, sorry, second column, where it says amended budget 2025-26. Those are what we've already amended it to. The highlighted sections are what they need to be amended to.
Right.
Green means increase, so we've gotten more revenue in those columns than we originally budgeted for. Red means that we did not get as much revenue in those columns as we had budgeted for. So decreases, the biggest one to note is that copy fax reimbursement refund. That had to do with some of that selling of Horse Trail property stuff still. So that's part of why that is. And we didn't get as much in zoning and variance fees, so. All right. Any questions on that page before we move on? The next section, trying to see. So we'll have that first amendment from Heather on there as well. In the trustees, you guys didn't use any education, so I bumped that down to 0. The supervisor, there's an increase in the education. Next week, I would like to purchase my ticket and put the deposit down for a room to go to the MTA annual conference, which is actually in April. But if you don't buy the stuff now, you can't get like the right hotel and get the stuff in. Yeah,
Right.
so I would like to be able to do that. So that's why that increase. And we can look at doing a decrease in next year's to accommodate if we need to. And then the increase in financial, this is actually the creation of the accounting finance GLs for Heather because we were using a different one. So this just puts money into those columns and then we do decrease it later on in the budget. So in administration, we had the decrease in repair and maintenance, decrease in professional services, property tax decrease. And in the administrative assistant, I had decreased it to 37, and then I think with Heather doing some math and we do PTO payout too, like they can choose to roll over their PTO or cash it out. And with that, we went over what I thought we were going to. So instead of bumping it down to 37, she said to bump it down to 38,500. So any questions on that page? Move on to the next page. That decrease to the salary, wages, finance is Heather's stuff going away in the creation of those new. But she's going to do a journal entry to move what she's earned into those columns. She had the FICA at 42. So we needed to increase that more than what I had anticipated. And I will note that overall, she said that we did pretty good, but it is really hard to know what you're going to spend in the last few weeks of the fiscal year. She's like, it's like a guess. So, even these numbers, we just got to try to get as close as we can, you know? And then Board of Review. She did say that we should have that increased Board of Review salary. And then we have the next one that she said was the admin assistant, same kind of situation for the admin assistant in treasurer. Just needed to increase a little more than I increase a little bit more from my decrease. Sorry if that's confusing.
No.
And then assessing, I had put in for what the county had made that contract for, and only part of the year was that contract. So we can decrease it down to this is what she's been paid out for the year. So elections, we always bumped higher, and then whatever they use, we can bump down to. There's no more elections for the year, so we're good to use those numbers. Any questions on that page? Miss anything? Okay. And then building and grounds, utilities, I think I actually didn't increase that GO, but she's saying that we should. Cost of utilities has gone up and continues to, so something that we'll have to keep an eye on for next year. And then let's see here, make sure there's nothing. Repair and maintenance auto. We had a couple of expenses come out that last little bit. There was a $1,000 repair on, I want to say it was the Colorado?
Yep.
So, and that bill, I hadn't gotten a bill when I did this, and then it went through. So we were like, oh snap, we need to increase that a little bit. So that's in there. That's why Heather had that increase higher. And then let's see, public safety is on that one. I think that's again, utility just needed to be increased. Any questions on this page? And I'll be interested to see, so we did increase for printing and publishing. That is our like posts for the newspapers. And I know she's been moving some stuff around too for the automobile. So I'll be interested if that changes a little bit as well. But, all right, no questions. We will go to the next page. We are on page 3 now, so let's see.
And then-
5?
Yeah.
Did I go the wrong way, y'all?
No.
Let's see.
They might have.
Yeah, it should be 3 at the top of your page.
No, we've already gone. We've already gone through 3. We've gone through 3 and 4.
Okay, you guys are so great. All right, we're on page 5.
Ma'am.
It is 10 a.m., y'all, and or somewhere in the 10 a.m. hour. And there's not much caffeine.
We're going through this one right now. All right, I'm on page 4.
Okay.
Wait, what?
I think we just finished that one up. So page 5 now.
Page 5.
And then the only increase she had was the contract service with the transfer station. That one is a hard one to know because it does depend on if we need to have push downs and stuff. McCormick does that. They come out and push down. And I had increased it some and Heather looked at it and said we needed to increase it a little bit more. So
And are you considering the free dump day?
that will be in next year.
Oh, okay.
This is just the end of this year.
The end
This
of
is
this
the
year.
end of
Okay,
this year.
gotcha.
Yep. Sorry, I probably should have specified that. These are the end of this year's numbers, so.
There it is.
And then we shouldn't have anything in miscellaneous. We didn't have anything in capital outlay, so for public works, so those are decreased. Senior millage, we increased to what we've used. That one is a hard one to understand, and Heather's gonna talk to the auditor on the best way that we can do that. Cause their fiscal year is different than our fiscal year, and we get it with the counties. Because it's through the county commissioners vote on it, and so it's like, we get that money like halfway through our year and then it changes. So Heather's gonna try to make that easier for us to navigate. Planning Commission, they did not use any money in their miscellaneous education or operating supplies, so we can decrease those. And any other questions? And we might, I think we'll still be okay. The zoning admin maybe might go over if there was any payout for PTO, but I'm not sure if there was, so. And then we have recreation parks. We anticipate there's gonna be more meetings specifically right before the budget year. Justin did one meeting with them, then they didn't feel like they needed to have an additional one. So we did post the cancellation of that meeting and they didn't have it. So we're under budget for their wages. Parks construction was under budget. Which we're still good. Justin needed to buy, well, that wouldn't be parks construction anyway. Justin needs to buy some diamond dust, but that would be in equipment and repairs, so we're still good. And then miscellaneous got bumped down to what we've actually spent, and capital outlay the same. Any questions on that page? Try not to like every line and then give a history lesson. Fire fund, we have revenues, again, Heather didn't do any changes in those ones. So just the actual influx, from property tax collections. The Cedar Creek Township Protection Plan is higher than what's ever in the budget, so we fixed that. We did have the sale of assets. We sold the 2 pickup trucks to get the 1. And revenue from other sources was decreased because there wasn't enough in that, so. Any questions on that page? And then we have increases in FICA for firefighters. I think this is just something we need to anticipate that's gonna go up. Retirement increase. So anytime that the guys work overtime, they get retirement on their hours worked. And I don't think that we fully anticipated that when we did the budget initially. I just did it off of the regular allotted hours. So that's why we need to increase that one. Insurance costs have gone up, so that's increased, and building repairs was increased. That was voted on in a board meeting, that just didn't make it in the budget. So that's actually already voted on one, but we need to still increase that. That was for the doors. Okay.
Mhm.
Any questions on that page? And then didn't have any changes in the cemetery one. We needed to decrease the amount of money that was spent on opening and closings, which is good. And we did not spend as much in repair and maintenance. And we didn't spend any of the capital outlay, so those are all decreased. Any questions on that page?
No.
Water was no changes. Building fund, we didn't highlight it, needed to increase the revenue from building permits. Heather even suggested increasing it higher than what I had put in there. With that, though, also comes an increase in the monies that go out for the inspectors, which would be, building inspectors still fine. So building permits are all mechanical, plumbing, electrical, building go into that revenue. But we do need to increase the electrical, mechanical, inspectors because they get paid a percentage of those permits when they're pulled. Capital outlay, none was used, so that can be decreased. Any questions on that? ARPA is its own nonsense that Heather's gonna try to figure out. We moved that money. And then somehow it's still showing in this line. So she's gonna have to,
It's all been used.
it's all been used.
Okay.
It's all been used on the roads. It got put in the road fund already, but it never got decreased out of this fund. So Heather's gonna work on that, to try to get that cleaned up for, and she might have to reach out to the auditor too, to be like, hey, is there a certain way we can make this? If that money is spent, so everybody's clear. It will be
Yep.
zeros for next budget. Automobile road. Heather did put in the money for printing, publishing. It doesn't show on this, on your guys' packet, but in this additional sheet, she added a GL for printing, publishing. Bond payments was increased, which is not on there either, and the interest and fees. Heather, coming from Cedar Creek, did not have, they don't have bonds, or they don't have bonds like we have bonds. So it's a learning process for her too, but she's gonna try to get that all squared away. That might be something that we get dinged on in the audit, because I'm sure there will be things that are not fully set up in there, but once she gets a comprehension of it, she's good to go. She's pretty smart, so. No changes in Central Road. Michelinda, the interest in the bank was a little bit less. Didn't anticipate there being any more in that. And special assessment levied, we had more people, I think, either it's just the people who paid the special assessments, and we didn't amend the budget to anticipate for that, so. Any questions on Michelinda Road? McDonald Road, same thing. When I made the budget, it was my first year, so I just used the numbers from the last year in those accounts. But obviously it will increase when we get paid, so. That increase. Any questions on that one? Sewer, increase in the biller user fees. Increase in what was levied from the special assessments. Again, same kind of concept. I didn't anticipate. And we did increase, no, that was for water.
Yeah.
So sewer
Okay.
just as metered. And then interest in the bank, for some reason, that also needed to be increased. Heather did say interest rates are probably gonna go down. And then we did have some penalties. We never anticipate penalties because we obviously don't want people to have them. But we had penalty fees, so people not paying on time. And then the decrease in what was paid for sewer charges. County. And paid to county for maintenance was less as well. And Heather had the adjustment for bond principal payments. I think I had increased that to 99. She said that that actually needs to be 99,360, which makes sense because that's at what's used there. That's it for Heather's stuff, so we can set that aside and just continue on. Any questions with sewer operating and maintenance? Brock Cat, no changes there. Oh, what did I do here? So special assessment levy, I did change. Because we had more come in. And then we did change, I just didn't highlight the maintenance cost. Changed as well. Heather did review these as well, but the actual usage. Not sure why those didn't get highlighted. And then we have the change here from special assessment levy from Johnson from just what was collected. No change in the actual maintenance of the road. Gypsy Moth, we didn't use any money in. Middle Lake, we didn't do as much weed spraying. So that could have been decreased. North Lake, we did vote on that. We assessed for that one this year because there was a low fund balance and the continued request. We had put in an initial amount and then a resident made a request to have additional weed spraying done, and it was approved, not by myself. And then we got the bill and I was like, wait a minute. That's not okay. We didn't approve that, but we had to do to cover it. So. All right. Twin Lake, we didn't opt to special assessment levy, so I don't know. It's just probably the actual increase because I know there's a table for that too. So I probably just need an account in making the budget for the there's like an Yep, I'm not gonna say that word right. Do you know how? Amortization. Yeah, amortization. That's a hard one, y'all. But anyway. Yeah. And then Westlake, we did a little bit less than anticipated for the grant. Any questions regarding the budget? Final budget for this week? All right, so now we just need a motion to approve the budget adjustments as presented with, it should also say including the adjustments from Heather Jarvis.
Make a motion to approve the final budget, including the adjustments from Heather.
All right. Motion by Nola. Do we have a support?
I think we should add in there for fiscal year 2025.
Fiscal year 2025.
Okay. You okay with that motion still?
Yeah,
With that
definitely.
Yes.
Support.
Motion by Nola, support by Michael. Any discussion from the board? All right, hearing none, we'll do a roll call vote.
Yes.
Yes.
Christie,
Yes.
Heather,
Yes.
Eugene is absent, Amy's absent, Nola,
Yes.
All right. Next is the budget hearing. We do this during this meeting, so it gives the opportunity for public to also speak on the budget. So we need to have a motion to open the budget hearing.
Make a motion to open the budget hearing.
Motion by Nola, do we have a support? Support by Lee, and then all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. All right, so budget hearing is opened at 10, what do we got here? 29, 28, 10:29, 39. You guys are so great. 10:39. 10:39 a.m. Budget hearing opened. Okay, so let's dive into, well, into the 2026-27 budget. First, we have that resolution, which we will do a motion and support for that later on. Again, we can't know what the numbers are gonna be, so these numbers are the totals for this proposed budget plus the millages from last year, because we don't know what the increase is gonna be yet, and with the Headley rollback and all those things, so we just do the best we can with the information we have. We have the proposed salary, which I think I sent to you guys as well. The seasonal maintenance guys needed to be, I think we said 19. It was 19 to 22 or 2150. Is the actual sheet. This one. Yeah, but I don't think I gave you guys the amended. Let me pull it up real quick. I don't want to misspeak, so.
Seasonal maintenance staff, is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, and I had sent that out because that was not noted, so it did need to be from 17 to 2050 to include the range. We have some seasonal guys that have been here for quite a few years, and so they've continually gotten COLA. And then we have some that we want to try to keep that bracket a little bit low, so if we hire newer guys, that we have opportunity for them to have growth within it too.
She's like 20.
So 17 to 2050 should be the seasonal maintenance staff range. So, and when we do put together the final budget packet, will be posted online right now. The proposed budget packet is listed on Unicode for residents to see. Once the board approves it, we will put that final one as a copy up there, and that will be in it. So, all right, let me get back to. A lot of this is the same as what we had seen when we did work session, so, and Heather did advise, again, like I said, that we would not have as much in for interest. Appropriations, we still have those salaries. I don't think there's any significant things to note there. We kind of put Heather at having 3 days a week. She opted to be part-time, which means that I think she can't get more than 28 hours in a week. So. And then. Yes. Fine, still. The thing that I feel like fluctuates is office supplies and postage. I know that we had a year, I think when I first started, that we didn't spend the amount, and then sometimes we spend more than the amount. And it's hard to know because it depends on how many things you're printing, you know, if you need to buy more pens and you need supplies, and so that's one that I feel like fluctuates. So that will have, I'm sure, adjustments throughout the year.
And FYI, at the end of the year, postage will be $1.
Okay.
$1 is envelope. I don't know if that's our bulk rate.
Or
That's crazy.
Like stamps are supposed to go up.
Stamp.
for standard,
Standard stamp.
aren't they like 67 cents now?
Are they like 74?
74.
Oh my gosh, that
But a
is
25-cent increase is
that's
high.
wild.
But if you buy
And they
postage
went
stamps,
up
they have to
last
stay
year, too.
forever.
Like
Mhm.
7
So you stock up. Say money.
I'm just saying, that's just FYI, if we don't get the bulk rate.
We do get a bulk rate, but it's not a substantial, like even if we did, it'd probably be like 99 some, like in the 90-cent range. Maybe high 80s, but it's not like a crazy decrease when we do that, so. Well,
I mean, want to throw up.
Well, and I saw where the United States Postal Service in a year.
yeah, what the federal government does, but that is wild.
Living anymore.
All right. Anyway. We'll see if that has to increase then for postage, so that's cool. Computer support and operating expenses unknown on that one too. Put in the, I think, similar amount to last year, so. Again, we might see increases in FICA. I tried to account for that. Insurance, we tried to account for the changes in that as well. And then put in the full amount for the assessing this year because we should be paying that now that we're in this full year. I don't think there's any major differences there. One thing that we did know, Justin was working his overtime and stuff. We did have to do an increase at the end of this year for him. Because the dude works a lot of overtime in the winter time. So if we, no, don't be sorry. We're super grateful for it. But you know, that might mean if there's not a part-time person that's helping,
Right.
that we decrease from the wages of other staff at the end of the year and then the increase in Justin's. So whatever we got to do to try to sort that out. There were some fire department staff that said that they would be willing to come in and help as well to try to alleviate Justin, which I think is super helpful. So, all right. Again, pretty self-explanatory. We have the increases and stuff. Chief's salary is part of ours. Road maintenance, this is what I was saying with that thing that we added at the end of the agenda. We have the money within the fund. It just might have to move around a little bit, which can happen in a quarterly adjustment. But just know when we get to that, our road budget right now is, we keep the road maintenance in there, the 30,000. But other than that, we would have still over 200,000. So to move around. All those other things stayed the same, tried to account for how much we would spend in senior village. Again, I'm sure of how to do all that still. All right, and we try to budget high and count our revenues as low. And then as we go, try to make up the difference. So right now it looks like we're over, but my guess is that at the end of the year, we're actually going to be pretty close to matching or under, because we always try to anticipate that we're going to spend, you know, like do these projects, get these things done. But if stuff doesn't happen or stuff costs less than what we anticipated, which often happens, we'll be okay. But right now it looks like we're a little bit over. Any questions with the main budget for the general fund? Any questions from the public? Because y'all can talk to me. Okay. Fire fund. Try to do the increases for property taxes. Talked with Chief about what he needed in his fire expenses. They are going to be under budget, so they'll have a positive of about 280, I think, roughly. For theirs. Any questions on the fire fund? Cemetery fund, again, this isn't something that really gain money on. Sometimes we lose money on the cemetery. But we wanted to anticipate for some capital outlay projects that they could do this year. They're gonna bring those forth to us. I know we talked about it a little bit in the budget work session. Trying to get an additional parking lot in the back and road work was included in this, so. That would put them over budget by 14, but again, it depends on how much actually gets done and if we end up under what we stated. Any questions on cemetery fund? Water is pretty self-explanatory. Building, again, make believe numbers. You don't know how many building permits are gonna be pulled. ARPA will be all zeros once Heather gets that stuff situated, so I just put it in as that. Heather will not enter it in as, even if she does, it's still gonna show that negative from before, so it will get worked out, but just know we do not have ARPA money left. Automobile Road will get worked out as well with those additions. Central Road, Michelinda Road, McDonald Road, Sewer. All those pretty much stay the same. Rock Cat. And worth noting, Rock Cat has like 9,000 left in their fund. So if we ever get to a point, I don't know what that looks like for their table or their agreement. If it's anything like the lakes, there might be one where we have to increase a year, slightly increase, or maybe slightly increase over a few years to try and get a fund balance in there if we decrease too much. So just throwing that out there because maintenance and stuff was a little bit higher, I think, this year. And then Gypsy Moth, we have money in there that we can use if we need to. Then the lakes, same kind of concept. Because you can see on there, there's like a difference that's negative, like the revenues that we get in, because we just transfer money. It's really that fund balance that we have to pay attention to. If that fund balance gets too low, then we have to do a special assessment to try to get that fund balance to be able to pay for the spraying. So we might see some of that throughout the year. All right. So no changes to that other than that salary page that we needed to fix for maintenance. Any questions regarding that? Anything from the public? Okay. We just need a motion to close the budget hearing.
Motion to close the budget hearing.
Motion from Nola. Do we have support? Support by Lee. And any discussion from the board? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Okay, so budget hearing is closed at 10:51. Next thing on the agenda is the approval of that resolution, which actually adopts the budget.
I make a motion to approve resolution 2026-10 for appropriation to act fiscal year 2026-2027.
Okay, a motion by Nola. Do we have support? Support by Lee. Any discussion from the board? Wait, hold up. Sorry. We should have that motion with the amendment to the salary page.
Make a motion to approve resolution 2026-10 for appropriations act fiscal year 2026-27 with
Amendment to
Amendment
salary
to
and wage.
salary and wage page.
Okay.
Got it.
Motion by Nola, Lee, do you still support? Lee still supports. And no discussion, any discussion from the board? Okay, we will do a roll call vote on that.
Michael,
Yes.
Lee,
Yes.
Christie,
Yes.
Heather,
Yes.
Eugene is absent, Amy is absent, Nola.
Yes.
All right, motion passes. And then the last thing was the addition of the Muskegon County cost sharing for Bard Road culverts. Like I said, he had gotten a hold of me on Thursday to let me know that the road was out. Went and looked at it Friday. He was gonna see if there could be like a temporary fix to get the road back open. And then we could approve it in the next meeting. but there was no temporary fix. It needs to be completely done. So, with that cost sharing letter, it would be a Dalton Township cost of approximately 122,500. I did talk to him and he said that it would not be completed until after April 1st. So it was okay to be in next fiscal years, which I said there's money in there to move around if we need to, so.
So I make a motion to approve the supervisor Heather Cooley to sign the cost sharing letter with the road commission to repair Bard Road culverts.
All right, motion by Nola, do we have support?
Support.
Support by Christie, any discussion from the board?
Is that money you may want to just move for Michigan class for emergency? Will it cut us short?
We have it in the budget. If we decide, after the beginning of the year, if we want to move money from savings to do some other road projects in lieu of that, we can, but we're good. We're good.
All right.
All right, we had motion. Okay, who motioned? I'm
I
sorry.
did.
Motion by Nola, Christie support. Any discussion from the board? All right, hearing none, we'll do roll call vote.
Michael,
Yes.
me, Christie,
Yes.
Heather,
Yes.
Eugene's absent, Amy's absent, Nola.
Yes.
All right, motion passes. And then, next we have public comment. Any public comment? Any public comment? Does the public have any comments? All right, hearing none, we need a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion by Nola, support by Christie. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Adjourned at 10:55. Okay.